What's up, dude?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Can you hear
cool.
me? Is it
Yes.
loud enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Am I?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, cool. Let me turn on my video. Okay.
There he is.
There I am. Here I am, finally.
How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. How's it feel to have no hair?
Honestly, it feels like shit. Wait, do you want me to start recording? I've got
Oh
my
no, I
camera
said
here.
feels, not looks.
What?
I said how does it feel, not how does it look? You said like shit, but I didn't say like.
Come on, man. I've heard it enough from my comments, dude. I don't need it from you too.
All right, we're off to a strong start.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you recording?
Yeah, I will. One
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know we were getting right into it like that. Jesus. Or was that just for you? That was just for your own personal pleasure.
That wasn't actually. That was because I'm already recording. If this was just a conversation, then I don't think I would have been that mean to you.
Okay. That's good.
It does look bad though. Okay. I'm kidding.
Look, man, I was just trying something out, okay? It's not I didn't think it was gonna look good, all right? Everyone assumes I did this because they thought I would look real. They thought I thought it would look good. I knew
Yeah.
it was gonna look goofy, all right?
Sometimes you just want to fuck around. I totally get that. Sometimes you don't
Okay.
want to look good all the time.
There you go.
Like it's
Exactly.
nice to
You
just
get
be
it.
like, I don't care.
Obviously you get it. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
What went on this week? No, was that?
This is so cool.
So this is Taco Tuesday girl.
Hey, I know her.
yeah.
This is not boring. I agree with that.
My
Long form, unedited conversation. I love it.
Hey, how are you? It's me. It's Cody, your host, and it is me. It's the real me. I'm wearing a shirt with my own name on it right now. CODY, it says right on the front of my shirt, just in case you had any doubts that it's not me. If you're looking at this right now, you're thinking, hey, I think that guy's an imposter. Think again, baby. And every time you think that throughout this episode, make sure you look at the shirt. Just to be reminded, oh, that is in fact him. So that's why I wore it. This is for you. It's not for me. Not only is it the real me, but it's just the real me. Nobody else in the room right now. You know, this is one of those ones where I set everything up by myself because I had the chance to jump on and talk to a friend, and I had to jump on it. I had to jump on the chance to jump on and talk to a friend, and we're gonna get it jumping. To be quite frank, today I'm speaking with Danny Gonzalez, a friend, a fellow YouTuber. You know, I had him on the podcast a long time ago, 5 years ago, just like Jimmy, and he actually came on with Drew Gooden, another friend and hilarious YouTuber. They're both hilarious, together and separate. And so I had them on the podcast a long time ago. It was a fan favorite episode. And, you know, in spinning this back up, I want to talk to people that I used to have on. And he was one of those people. But also I saw on Instagram that he had recently finished his very first marathon. So I thought, you know, excuse me, it's the DC hitting. It's that afternoon DC. Nothing hits quite like it. God, I fucked that up, didn't I? That would have been such a smooth way to say that nothing hits quite like it, but I stuttered in the middle of it, and it just nothing hits quite like it. So I do like a DC in the afternoon. Anyways, so Danny finished his first marathon. I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, I would love to jump on and talk to you about this. And he was away on vacation for a while, and now he's back, and so he said. I hit him back up. I said, you want to do it this week? And he said, yes, let's do it. And so, without further ado, my friend Danny Gonzalez. Can I use that what we just recorded anyways? And then I'll just shift to your footage?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, good.
It'll be a good cold open. Like, Didn't the last video we did together start with me being like, my dog died?
What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good, man. What happened to Peanut?
She got pancreatitis out of nowhere and ended up like we had to take her to like an ER vet for like a week, and she just like stopped eating and then she died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. That's okay.
Dude, we know how to do an intro.
We really do. We like to start off on a super dark note, bad vibes, and then what we do is we earn the audience's attention back, you know?
Right. Yeah. People are like, Jesus Christ. Their immediate reaction is to click off the video. And then we got to kind of reel them back in. It's all about that journey.
Yeah. And that's what true YouTubers do.
Yeah. I think every time I listen to Mr. Beast on a podcast and he's giving advice for up and coming YouTubers, he's like, the very first thing you should do is like, give the viewer every reason to click off the video. Like suck all the energy out of the room. Well,
that's why he starts every single one of his videos with, fuck you.
Or some super offensive like joke or something.
Something racist right off the bat.
Yeah. Whoa.
Go, oh my God.
But I am going to be giving away $1 million at the end of this video.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you should have just started with that. That sounds way more entertaining.
Yeah, I think I'll stick around to see that.
Yeah, it must have just been a fluke what he said back there. The rest of the video sounds like it's going to be funny.
So, how was vacation? How you been?
It's been good, man. Honestly, the beginning of it was a little rough. We literally we ran our marathon on October 9th, and then on the 11th, we flew to Paris. So I had like a day for my body to try to recover.
Yeah.
And then it was like one of those vacations where you just walk around all day. So my legs were just super sore for probably 4 or 5 days. There's a lot of stairs in Paris.
Yeah, not to mention also like international travel, like the airports.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like your gate is like at the very end, and the international terminals are always so big. So you're just hobbling around.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize too how many people fly in from other countries to do the Chicago Marathon too, because there were a lot of other people I could tell that ran the marathon at the airport, and they were all flying back to other countries. So there were people on our flight flying to Paris because they live there. That just seems insane to me. I'm not good enough at running to consider traveling to a different country to do it there.
Yeah, but don't you think if you did another one, you would kind of you see the appeal in that? It's a good excuse to go somewhere else.
That's true.
Because then it is kind of cool to do the race and then fuck off. You did something really hard at the beginning, so now you can kind of just eat and drink whatever you want for a little bit. I'm going to Australia to do the Ironman in May.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
wait, what is an Ironman?
That's it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon.
Jeez.
But I was if I'm gonna do this, I kind of want to go somewhere cool so that I can just relax afterwards in a cool place and make a vacation out of it.
Yeah, that does sound cool. We were thinking about doing a half marathon in Vegas. There's one in February that's at night, and it's down the strip. But it's on a Sunday. So after you finish, there's it's not the weekend after you finish. It's Monday the next day. So it's not you can really have fun in Vegas. And you can't go out before either, because then you'll feel like shit for the actual half marathon.
Yeah.
So,
Vegas doesn't really stop though. You could party in Vegas any night of the week.
Yeah, that's probably true. It just depends how sad you want to be while you're partying, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on your huge long run, by the way. What
thanks, man.
Was that an ultra marathon?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's insane. I cannot imagine doing that.
Yeah, it was hell. It was complete hell.
Was it 38 miles?
Yeah, about that. 37, I think.
Jeez.
So how did you feel though? How long you been running for? What This is one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about, just because I want to gear this podcast more towards that sort of stuff, just because I love it. And so when I saw your post, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I didn't even know that you ran. I think I saw the one that you did for your half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
feel like that
we-
jump from half marathon to marathon is a lot. And so you really have to be into it if you make that jump, because the
Yeah.
difference between 13 miles and 26 is another fucking world.
Well, see, okay, that's true, but you don't know that until you've made that jump. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of thought that because I trained for it, like doing a marathon now would kind of feel like how I felt doing a half marathon back then, because it's like, you know, I trained up for it. This is the most I can run. And it just, you know, it would just feel like running the most I could run. But this was definitely way more difficult. You're right. It's like kind of a crazy jump to make. No, Laura and I both started running like at the beginning of the pandemic. I think in like March of 2020, something like that. And like, neither of us had ever done really any like athletics much. Like I did like swim team for 1 year in high school and that's it. And then like not really anything in college or after that. So like when we started running, I could run like a mile and a half at like an 11-minute pace.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was working with to start.
I mean, I was the same way when I started running too. But
Yeah,
it
how
was
long have
weird
you been
because
running
I
for?
was like I was a D1 college athlete. So I did like a lot of strength training and stuff, but like running is its own thing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like I was not in shape at all when it came to running. And it really was like I couldn't even run half a mile without getting like debilitating shin splints. And it's really discouraging when you start because you're like, I don't understand. I see all these people jogging every morning. Like, how do they enjoy this? Like, it's just pain for me. And it's like, it doesn't even seem like it's possible.
Yeah, I guess I was pretty lucky that I didn't really get any like shin splints or anything until I started doing like longer than like 13 miles. So the whole time I was training for the half marathon, I don't think I had any like real injuries. I did I would get like really tight and stuff, but it would only last like a couple days and then I'd be able to like get back on it. But
So, like, after you started running, how long did it take you to be like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for a race?
I guess like, so we started in like the beginning of 2020 and then, we just kind of did it like on and off because like it gets super cold here in the winter and we like stopped running from like November until, probably like May, honestly. So I think we did that like 2020 and 2021. Like we just stopped running during the winter. And I think that we ran I think like the first things we did were just like 5Ks. There's like a bunch of 5Ks around here all the time. So we just like did some of those and just like kept getting faster and faster with those. And then eventually you just kind of get bored going for like 3 to 5 mile runs every day. And you're like, I wonder how far I could run. So then we just started like seeing like, can we add distance on every day? So the first like longer race we ran was the half marathon, which was in May.
And is this something that you, like, did you feel any benefit in your life outside of running? Like, I mean, like that running was causing, you know?
Right. Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of people say that. Well, so okay, I don't actually know if it's a benefit. I feel like a lot of people say like, I love working out. Like I can tell when I haven't worked out because I'm way more stressed and stuff. And until I go for a run or I like get in the gym and lift some weights, and then I'm like, I feel better. But I can't. I agree with that, but I can't tell if I like actually felt more stressed before I ever started running, or if like it's kind of like when people say you like develop a tolerance to drugs, and then eventually you're never as happy as you are like you were before. You know?
Yeah. So you might have been fine before, and then you started running, and now your body is like craving that.
Yeah.
And if you don't give it that, then you won't feel good.
Mm-hmm. I've sort of developed a dependency on running, I think. Yeah.
One of the things I've sort of noticed, like the harder I train and the more workouts I do that are like really tough and just like mentally taxing, is that it kind of makes everything else a little bit easier. I've noticed that. Like that's something that's kind of cool, is that like in day-to-day life, shit goes wrong all the time. And it kind of makes it easier to deal with those issues because you're like, I was just in the most pain ever for like 3 hours
Yeah.
straight. This doesn't seem that bad compared to that. You know, if I can do that, I can do this.
Yeah, I will say, like, I think it's definitely helped with, like, my confidence in the sense that, like, I don't think that before we started running at all, I don't think I ever would have thought that I could ever run, like, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Because I feel like to a person that doesn't run, that sounds like an insane amount to be, like, to just go out for a 10-mile run sounds like insane. I think that's how it sounded to me before I started running. So the fact that I could do that and then do it again and then do 6 more on top of that is pretty crazy. I think one of the coolest things about, like, running is just, like, experiencing that feeling of, like, running a little farther every time and being like, I know that I couldn't do that before and now I can. That's, like, one of the coolest feelings.
It is, right? It feels
Yeah.
good to like feel yourself getting better at something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you kind of lose that as an adult because outside of work, it's like, what do you really work on that you get better at, like little by little,
Right.
that you see evidence of it, you know? I think that's so important to, like, I don't know, stay motivated and just feel like you have a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things. There can be other things, like if you, like, play an instrument or something and suddenly you can play, like, a new song that you couldn't before.
But who really does that outside of
I don't know, man, nerds.
exactly? No, I just
Fucking
mean like
losers.
I just mean like who, you know, I feel like even people that play guitar or play piano or whatever, it's like they're not practicing every day, you know, because they're tired with work or maybe they are, you know, but like I think working out is one of those things that's just easier, or I mean at least running. It's like easier to get into, and then you have like a really like quantitative measure of yourself like slowly progressing at something.
Yeah. I like how quantitative it is. It's like you literally have a numeric value of like how far I could run before and how far I can run now. Because even with stuff like, yeah, if you're like a photographer or an artist, like you can say like, oh, I like this painting better than the last one I did, but like, is it actually like objectively better?
Yeah.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I will say that like, it does make me kind of nervous because, and I don't know if you'll feel this way too, but like, I do know that like, eventually I'm going to stop being able to run farther, either because like, that's just the limit of my body, or like, I'm going to get older. And then it's going to be this progression of me like getting slower and being able to run less far. And that's just, I feel like that's really going to crush my spirit.
yeah, that's going to be tough when that happens.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I mean,
So
like that's kind of like I like, you know, the reason why I signed up for the ultra is because I was just like in a really bad rut, and I just felt like I was just getting worse and dumber and just like in worse shape every day, and it just like felt like I was on this decline of just getting worse at everything. And yeah, that's a really bad feeling.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like you can always find that thing that you can strive for. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I definitely do think it's helped me. Now, the more I'm thinking about it, I feel like I hadn't really thought about it until you asked that question. But it's kind of like, you know how people say, like, if you wake up every morning and make your bed, it, like, starts your day off on the right trajectory? I feel like it's like that. It's like, if I go for a run in the morning, I'm, like, already set on, like, I'm having a productive day.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It also gives me time to think about while I'm running, like, what am I going to do today? I get on the right path. I, like, already feel like I'm getting shit done from the moment I wake up. So that's good.
How long was your furthest run before the full marathon?
And
what was training like?
Yeah, I did like 22 miles before the marathon. Yeah, but it was a struggle. Honestly, all of my runs past like 18 miles where I had to walk a little bit on my practice runs. So I was like, I hope when I get to the actual marathon, I can actually do this, because the runs did not go as well. We were both doing a training plan. I think it was called the Hal Higdon method. Do you know about marathon training methods? Okay. Well,
no
I think that's what it was called.
Where'd you find it?
Laura found it actually. I think she just Googled it. I think Hal Higdon is some guy who really knows how to train for marathons, I guess.
Yeah, he
never
loves
actually
training
runs them,
for
but
me. He's really good at training for them.
He's really good at getting like really close, and then he's like, "Yeah, and you could probably run one after that." So yeah, I think that training plan said to only go up to 20, and then you have like 2 weeks to taper down. But I got there a little bit early, so I was like, I got to 20 like 3 weeks early, so I was like, next week I'll just do 22, and then I'll taper down.
Yeah.
I think that the training, me and Laura right now, I feel like sound like we're like gamblers, like heavy gamblers, because we keep saying like, I can do it better next time. If you just give me like one more chance, I could do it better. Cause I feel like we did not take the training as seriously as we should have. And so we kind of want to do another one to just like see what we can do if we like actually do all the runs.
I think my sister was telling me this because I feel the same way. I'm like, oh man, even if I miss one workout, I feel really bad. And I'm like, I'm not taking this seriously enough. But she was like, every single training plan is designed so that because they know that you'll miss workouts.
Yeah.
So even if you're doing like 75% of them, you're probably taking it as seriously as anyone else is. But I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of also like throwing yourself into something like 100%.
Yeah, I don't know if I even met the 75% though. I think it was more like 50%, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got like a flu for like 2 or 3 weeks, what felt like, in the middle of the training. And it was like when the mileage was going from like 10 miles, which I could run, to like 15 miles per run, which I had never done before. It was like during that period. So once I got over the like being sick, I had to like immediately ramp up to like more miles than I'd ever done before. And I think that kind of screwed me over.
Yeah.
And then also like the plan, I feel like a lot of plans are probably like this, where you have like one long run a week, and then it's like a couple little short ones during the week. Mm-hmm. And I got in this mode of being like, I just ran 15 miles. The 3-mile run's probably not going to make that much of a difference. Like, it's really the long ones that are important. So I would do maybe like one short run a week when the plan had me doing like 3. And I definitely think that was to my detriment. I think I should have been building up my weekly mileage for sure.
So what was your weekly mileage? What was your like maximum weekly mileage before you did the race?
I don't know. I could probably look on my Strava and see.
And what was your time?
My time was like 4:27.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I think the most that I ran in a week before the marathon was 40 miles.
That's a shit ton.
Between 30 and 40.
So that was like the 20-mile long run or the 22-mile long run, and then like 18 miles.
Yeah.
On top
but
of that.
It was like, I mean, it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
As you can see there.
Yeah.
This is since then. I have not run much since then.
Did a lot of walking though.
That's true. I should have recorded that on Strava. So yeah. During the marathon I definitely made, okay. So it's the training didn't go as well, and also I think the actual marathon didn't go as well as it could have, cuz that's why like I keep being like I could do it better if I just did another one.
So why? What did it feel like?
So I probably should have tried to run at like a 9:30, 9:45 pace. But when I started, after like 3 miles maybe, I found myself running next to a 4-hour pacer, which is like a 9:10 pace, I think. And I was like, holy shit, I'm running with this guy. And I just kept on running, and like I did the first whole like half marathon with him, just running next to him. And I was like, I didn't think it'd feel this easy. Like, wow, I'm really keeping up with this guy. This is such a comfortable pace. And then like between like miles like 14 and 16, it changed so fast. My body was like, you cannot do this any longer. This pace is not for you. You are way out of your depth. And so then I slowed down big time.
That's why I said like the jump from half marathon to marathon is so intense, because there is that wall, and that lives like anywhere from 10 miles to 15. And when you hit it, it's like your body flicks a switch, and it goes from like, oh, this feels fine, to like, I want this to end and I want to die.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I felt that like during practice runs too. It was always like
Same.
Between mile like 16, maybe 17,
Yeah.
and I would just hit a wall, and it'd be like, this is like, if you don't do like running or any like type of athletic stuff before, you don't know what it feels like for your body to just like be like, I am actually exhausted. Like I'm
done.
I cannot go on.
It's like everything is it's like your body's trying to give you as many signs as it can. So it's like you're not only your brain being like you're tired, but it's also like pains just in your knees and feet and just like areas of your body that you've never felt pain before, and you're like, what's happening? Why my back? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually did stop to walk at one point. I picked up some water at one of the stations, and I was like, I just got to walk for 5 minutes. And it hurt more to walk than it did to run. I was like, oh, fuck, this feels awful. I was like, I guess I just had to keep running.
Your body's like, stop, and then you stop, and you're like, what are you doing? Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that either. It's like,
Don't stop.
It just
Stop
wanted
stopping.
to die, I think.
Stop stopping.
Like, yeah. Stop stopping. Stop going. What are you doing? Stop
Don't
running.
stop
It
going.
hurts, and definitely don't walk.
Like, what do you want from me?
So it was definitely a learning experience. It was super cool though. I mean, like, I'm so happy that I did it. It's like, it's an incredible like accomplishment. I feel very accomplished from doing it, but definitely I feel motivated to do another one, because I feel like I've learned so much. I can do it better.
Do you feel like this is one of those things that before you thought you would never do, and now it's cool to say that you've done it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, even when we started running, it like wasn't with the intention to do races. It was kind of just because it was COVID and we couldn't go to our gym anymore, and we wanted to do like some kind of exercise, so we would just go out and run. So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to go from being able to run like 1 mile to running 26. It's like, it does feel like a huge accomplishment.
And does it make you think about like other things that you want to, does it like give you, I don't know, confidence in, I guess like, you're thinking about achieving other things like down the line?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'd ever do, at least not right now. I don't really have like a desire to do anything longer than a marathon. But I could see myself doing other stuff. I mean, like the thing, the Ironman, that's what you're training for right now?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. Or some kind of like, like triathlon. Is the Ironman considered a triathlon, or are those different? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah, don't do it.
I think
No,
I watched...
it is cool. It's just like a lot of shit that you got to deal with. Like just like cycling alone, it's just like infinite gear and things you got to like crank and turn, and it's just, it's a lot.
That's crazy. That's like I feel like that's one of the only endurance sports where you like need to buy a bunch of gear for it. Like running, you just need shoes.
Yeah.
Swimming, you could be naked, honestly, to swim. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
Goggles probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, biking is like you're on this contraption and you just have to make sure it's all fine-tuned or whatever.
But it's cool. It's cool just because an Ironman is always like one of those things that, I guess I saw my parents do them, and I was always like, holy fuck, this is a really crazy achievement. But, you don't realize, you're not like fully convinced that you can do it until you start training for it. And then you're like, oh, this is like anything else, And I think that's why I like this stuff so much, and why I respond to running and like physical achievements like this, is that it's kind of like it's like an easy way to digest that you really can do anything,
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I hope that, I mean, I think it's great that you're doing that channel, your training channel and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, because Laura was kind of like this too. I always, she never like ran or anything, even like in high school when they had to run the mile, like Laura would not run it. So she like didn't have any like confidence that she could like run at all. And I think that it's really important that like people understand like you actually can. Like I could not run before, and Laura couldn't either, and now we just ran a marathon. Like you can. I feel like the first like couple steps are pretty discouraging, like going from not being able to run a mile, because I feel like a lot of like if you don't do any like physical activity, a lot of adults probably couldn't run a mile. So going from that to like your first 5K is probably pretty difficult, but like once you do that, you'll realize like it's actually, doable. You can just like take it one step at a time, just run a little farther every time. You can run
a 5K,
exactly. A half marathon.
Yeah. Yeah, it always frustrates me a little bit when people are like, "Oh, I could never do that."
Yeah.
I hate that because it's like that extends into like other parts of your life, I feel like. Like when you just kind of put a cap on what you can do, even in one thing. I could never do that. It's like no, you definitely could. And like what else do you think?
Right.
In terms of like your level of, potential. I feel like you're like capping that,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like what a lot of people think when they say that is like I can't do it right now, and I also can't even come close to it, so I probably could never, like as if like some people start off being able to run like 20 miles and then they just have to train to like 26.
Yeah.
It is like a daunting like process, but I think that's what's so cool about it, because like anything that's really worth achieving, like even like when you started your YouTube channel, you weren't thinking like I'm gonna hit 5 million subscribers. You were just like,
no, that happened on day one.
Oh, that's right.
That was my very first video.
That's right. No, you started at 10 million and you've only been losing subscribers. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Beast actually gave me one of his side channels.
Yeah,
and
I forgot you used to be Mr. Beast Espanol. And eventually, like gradually, all of his subscribers have been like, "What the fuck?" or whatever that is in Spanish.
Yeah. Okay.
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 That's all your comments. Okay.
Donde Mr. Beast? Who is this guy? No, I think it's all the racist things I've been saying at the start of this video.
Yeah, that might be it too. Damn. Wait, so how long have you been like running for? Like when did you run your first marathon?
So when I graduated college, and that's when I moved to Silicon Valley, and I was living in Palo Alto, and that was like when I also retired from diving. So I did diving for 12 years. So like for 12 years I had, training plans and coaches, and there's like this regimented, structured way to stay in shape, and then I went from that to nothing, and just basically was just like out in the real world and had to figure out how to stay in shape, because I could feel myself like I was eating like I was an athlete but not training at all, and I could kind of feel, and just like sitting at a computer coding all day, so I just could like feel myself just getting more out of shape, but at that point I was like, I can't run. I just have tried. I know I get shin splints. It's just not fun. It's not I just didn't understand it at all, but I was like, it is the easiest thing for me to, like, for me it's like I want simplicity. So like a training plan, even like a weight training plan.
No, you were right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Even that, it's like intimidating to me because I got to go find one, and then I'm like, I get paralysis by whatever. Possibly. What's that phrase?
Analysis
paralysis. Because I'm like, I want to find the right one, and then I'm like researching every form of weightlifting ever.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, I should just be going to the gym and doing something, And running was the easiest thing because it's like you just go outside and start, just go.
Yeah.
And so I think my dad helped me like kind of get to that first 5K length, and it was just by like going out and doing as much as I could. I would get shin splints. I would kind of walk and stretch until they were gone, and then I'd go a little bit longer. And like I said, I would start out running half a mile to a mile and get home and sort of kind of feel good about it, but also feel like a failure. And then, you just keep doing it. Just every day or two, show up, keep going. And then, I just eventually got better. And then I did a half marathon with him that probably took me like 6 months to train for that, and then probably a year after that I did my first marathon.
Okay. I mean, like,
So, yeah.
how did you feel like your first like half marathon and marathon went? Like, was it similar to my experience, or were you like, that was pretty much like how I thought it was gonna be?
I trained my ass off for my first marathon.
Smart.
Like I was doing a lot of, I was like really, because I had nothing else to do. I lived, I was the only, I didn't have any friends. Like the only people I knew were the people I worked with. And I
That's
just
why
didn't-
you're training so much now too. I can tell.
I've never had friends. So I didn't back then, and I still don't.
Yeah.
No, but back then it was like really, I was like isolated. Like that was a unique point in my life because everyone I knew from college that I was friends with either went to New York or they went to Seattle. Nobody moved to Silicon Valley. Like, why would you?
That's
so-
kind of surprising. I feel like if you went to school for computer science and no one else went to like the hub for software engineers.
I wasn't really friends with other software engineers.
Okay.
And the people I did know like got a job in San Francisco.
Okay.
So I really didn't have anybody to hang out with, and the only thing I had to do after work was go to the gym and just get on the treadmill. And so my dad wrote me this really intense training plan, and I followed it like to a T and got like super fast. And I think my first marathon was I did it in 3:43, I think.
Damn. That's crazy.
And I remember my first one. I live tweeted the whole thing actually.
You did?
Yeah, if you go back on my Twitter, I don't know, back to 20. I don't even know when it was, but yeah, the whole time I had my phone out and I was tweeting how I felt.
Damn.
And it sucked. Like it's trying to hold a pace. Because on race day you have that like little bit of adrenaline. You're kind of like feeding off the energy of everyone else being there, and so you start out like a little bit too fast, a little bit faster than you would if you were just on your own, like doing a practice run, and then
Yeah, man,
just
I ran
trying
the
to
first,
hold
like,
that.
Whole half marathon faster than I should have. Just because I was like so energized.
What was the pace guy like wearing anything? Like they sometimes wear like bunny ears, or like a costume.
No, he just seemed like a really cool guy. He was kind of like jacked too. You usually think of runners as being like thin guys.
Yeah.
But he had like long hair that was flowing back, and we were like opposites in every way. He was like tan with like long hair. I had just shaved my head. Chasing him literally felt like a metaphor for like life. I was like, you're like superior to me in every way. Come back. So those few miles where he slowly drifted away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like rethinking every choice you've ever made.
Yeah.
Seeing
What was
him
I even
drift
thinking
off.
to think I could run with that guy?
Yeah.
Stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah. No, he wasn't
So-
wearing anything that cool. He just was cool.
You must be able to run super fast. Like he must be able to finish a marathon way faster than 4 hours in order to just guarantee that he will make that pace the whole time.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, how if we just let you loose, how fast would you do this?
We just took the reins off you.
Took the
Just let you
there
go.
was sort of like a ball and chain on his ankle. If we just if we undid that, how fast would you go, man?
With a 30-pound weight.
Yeah. That dude could hold the world record, but he just gets roped into volunteering to be a pacer every time.
So how many people did the race? That's a big ass race, right?
Yeah, it was huge. It was like I think they said almost 50,000 people there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And the American woman record was broken there. I think she was
Really?
like 218 or something like that.
Wow. That was Laura?
Yeah, sorry. That was Laura, yeah. She's really fast.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
She took the training a lot more serious than me, needless to say.
How was Italy? How was the wedding and how was everything?
It was awesome. I mean, like, so we met up with Kurtis and Jenna. They were already on their like Europe trip, so we were like meeting them kind of a quarter of the way through it because they were in like London before that. But we met them in Paris, and then we did Paris and then Nice in France, and then
How sick is Nice?
it's so pretty. It was beautiful. It was really cool. We stayed in this like little Airbnb apartment, just like right by like what seemed like the main area for like going out and like bars and stuff. So have you been there before?
Yeah.
I can't really tell, like, it seemed like we were right in the middle of all the action, but it's kind of like there's like a bigger town around it where there's more stuff going on, so I don't know. Like, do you know where you stayed?
We were on a yacht.
Okay.
We were. I mean, it was.
Never mind. Then.
Yeah. No, I'm not lying. I wish there was like a less douchey way to say that.
Yeah.
But there really
pretty
isn't.
fucked up, dude.
You can't say that in a normal
You were
way.
staying on a yacht?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So I think Nice is where we boarded the yacht, and then we were just kind of staying on the high seas, I guess.
Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we didn't get a chance to check that out, but we were sort of we went to a bar called Wayne's that was pretty cool.
This is cool. Similar vibe? Kind of yacht
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
similar vibe, yeah. There was
Yeah.
there was some water on the ground. It was similar. So we did that, and then Kurtis and Jenna got married in like near Florence. Which is also like super pretty area. And then we went to kind of like, I don't think it was the Amalfi Coast, but I think it was like near it in Italy, like
Okay.
southern Italy. Yeah, it was sick. I haven't Laura's never been to Europe, and I hadn't been since like I was like a little kid. So it was cool. It was really cool. We don't like travel that much, and especially like since the pandemic, we haven't been anywhere outside the country. So it was
That was
really
your
cool.
first trip? Like first real trip?
Since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've only been to like other places in the U.S. I think since the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Europe's just so unique.
I know it. It kind of made me want to move there, but then also when I got home, I was like, no, I do kind of fuck with the U.S.
Yeah,
a little bit
I
in some ways. Like, but maybe it's just because I was traveling. Because like the things that I missed were like coming back and like getting in my car and driving to Starbucks and like knowing where it is and going through the drive-through and then driving home and like knowing what I'm gonna eat every day. I feel like when you travel, like unless you have it super planned out, every day is kind of like, okay, now we got to find a new restaurant to like eat at, and I have to like figure out what I'm gonna eat. So maybe if I actually lived there and like had a sense of a schedule, I would like it because it's so pretty. All their cities are like way, well, I don't know if they're prettier than U.S. cities, but they're definitely different. Like Paris is like a huge city and there's not really like skyscrapers. It's just like every building is like the same beautiful building. And yeah.
It's kind of the most American thing ever that you said you miss getting in your car and going to the drive-thru.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm American through and through like that.
Just the simple things, you know?
I miss coming home, going to Starbucks, and shooting my gun.
At Starbucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my coffee's not, on time.
I'll have a
I'll have a
let me
hazelnut
get a
latte.
chai latte. Like,
And
holy
stat.
shit, yeah. Yeah, I miss doing that.
And what else is new? How's
What
how's
else
YouTube?
is new?
How's life? How's your job? The job
Well,
of
actually,
being a
you know what?
content creator?
Since last time I talked to you, I have another dog now too.
Okay.
I have 2 dogs, and they're both.
Do you really?
puppies. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Why'd you get a second one?
Oh man.
What?
The other one died.
Wait. Okay,
No,
the last
it
time.
didn't-
Okay,
it
it
didn't
didn't.
die.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
She didn't. Sorry, not it. So
Okay.
It's still alive.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, no, we have 2 dogs now. We were fostering him, and then we just decided to keep him. His name is Zero.
Zero.
He's very cute. Yeah.
Who named him Zero?
His name is Zero because of the dog
mean.
in. What?
It's kind of mean, isn't it?
Everyone keeps saying that. We didn't think it would be so mean when we named him. He's named after the dog in Nightmare Before Christmas, the little ghost dog. His name is Zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we do sometimes like say that his middle name is Thoughts because he is kind of like a little ditz.
Oh, okay. THOUGHTS.
Yeah. No, not like zero thoughts, like zero bitches.
You little thought. Zero thoughts, exactly.
Yeah, this man gets no thoughts, dude.
No bitches.
Yeah. He doesn't, to be fair. I mean, he's a dog, so.
Yeah. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Zero to me is like kind of like naming your dog L.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it'd be okay. It's like the same as naming him L after like 11 in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like he is named after a character, but it also is kind of a mean name to just be like, this is my dog L. This dog's a walking L.
Yeah. And do your dogs, are they like cool together? Do they like
they get along really great. The new dog is an Australian Shepherd, and so he's like insanely energetic, which does kind of drive the other dog crazy because she's a little more chill. But they do play a lot. It's just he wants to play a lot more than she does.
Gotcha.
You know? Other than that, things are going good with the videos and stuff. I mean, like, I feel like I've been trying to make a little bit less of like just straightforward commentary videos and trying to put a little more like spin on it, just because like I don't know if you ever feel this way, but just like sitting at a desk and like recording kind of the same video over and over gets a little tiresome sometimes.
No,
not
at all.
Okay, no, you love it. Okay.
Yeah, I love
sorry,
dude, I could watch The Button every single day for the rest of my life and die a happy man.
I could tell. You get into that thing. You
I
love that show.
I love it.
Yeah, are you like an executive producer on that show at this point?
No.
Like, do you? This is just you promoting your own show.
What?
Guys,
No?
this episode of The Button is crazy.
Yeah, I actually own Cut. I own that whole production company. And this is just guerrilla marketing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's working.
One of these days I'm going to check out the actual show, but not today.
Yeah, no, I do feel you, though. I absolutely am plagued with that feeling constantly because it's just like anything that I do, you know, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, you still get a bajillion views on every video, but for me, it's like I do the same old thing that I used to do, and I just don't get the same traction. So then to me, I'm like, oh, it is kind of like losing its luster a little bit, and it does feel stale. Like that's part of the reason why I started the new Cody Trains channel and everything. It's just like do something else.
Yeah.
And so like,
I mean, you have like so much going on too. You have like 8 podcasts or something. Like, you have a lot going on outside your main channel too.
I love having as many podcasts as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I
was gonna ask like what
go ahead, sorry.
your reason for bringing back this podcast is. Is it just because like you were kind of like looking for something else to do?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking I just want to make more content, you know, in this sort of direction in terms of the things that like I'm interested in and doing in real life, like training, and I don't know, in business too. Like I wanted to gear this podcast more towards that stuff because it's what I'm doing day to day, you know, like running Team G Studios and you know, me and Noel are doing a lot of business stuff, so it's what I'm listening to all the time. So it's just cool to make stuff in that same sort of vein, and this is kind of like an avenue. Like with TMG, it's like, you know, we have content that we kind of stick to in terms of, you know, what we talk about and things like that, and so this is kind of like, I don't know, another sort of outlet, I guess.
Yeah.
So it just felt like kind of natural. It just felt like I like new things and I like new challenges and just like starting something from scratch.
I honestly like, I think that's super important. It's kind of like what I was saying before. It's like, it's super important to be like passionate about what you're doing. Like, I feel like that's made me want to like make other types of videos. And I think that you're like, audiences can definitely tell when you're excited about what you're making and when you're not. Like, because you just naturally put more effort into it. You naturally like make more creative decisions when you're passionate about what you're doing. So yeah, I like if it's, I can definitely tell that you're like passionate about all the training stuff. I think that that's like really showing through in your actual content. So it makes sense that you'd be doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. The ghost video was great. The ghost hunting video.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, that was super fun to shoot. I was like, that was kind of like a bucket list thing.
What?
Just like staying at a haunted place. Like, have you ever like wanted, or have you ever done that?
I've never done it, but I know how big the genre is on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Just Sam and Colby and that whole section of YouTube that is just like over dramatized videos of like haunted shit.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was just like the perfect concept, like kind of debunking that and just like painting it in like a normal light.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's like something that like I've always wondered, because I used to watch like a little bit of Ghost Hunters with my dad in high school, and like I don't particularly believe in ghosts. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, I wonder how much truth there is to stuff like that. Like, are they actually scared? Are they actually like experiencing stuff, or are they just like straight up making it all up?
Yeah.
And I was also kind of curious, like, because I don't really believe in ghosts, like, if I were to go to a place that is supposedly very haunted, like, would I be scared? Or because it's easy to say, like, oh, I wouldn't be scared because I'm not I don't believe in ghosts. But when you're actually there and you're like in the dark in a bed in a hotel room that you've never been to before, it's kind of hard not to be.
Yeah. And so you were a little bit scared?
Yeah, definitely. I like the whole time I was with my editor Jake most of the time. He shot it. But the hotel had like haunted rooms and then non-haunted rooms. So I got Jake a non-haunted room. I was like, I cannot ethically.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I cannot ethically force my employee to stay in a haunted room. And so like around like 1 or whenever he went to bed, I just had to like get ready for bed alone in my room, and it was like the first time I'd been alone in the room the whole day. So I like had a podcast on and was just like blasting it because I was like, if there's noises, I don't want to hear them. I'm just gonna kind of be looking at it while I'm brushing my teeth and like walking around. I forget if it made it in the final cut of the video, but I think there's a shot of me actually like going to turn off the light, and I like have the podcast like in my hand as I'm like walking to turn it off. I was just trying to like distract myself.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
yourself. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Ghost feed on fear, and I'm not scared. Sorry, losers. But yeah, it was scary.
So sure.
It was, but not because anything happened. It's just like.
Yeah, it's like that. You convince yourself.
I'm scared of the dark. Like,
yeah.
If I was in like my own basement in the dark, I'd probably be a little scared too. Especially if you told me there was a ghost down there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this is the most haunted basement. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. So you have other videos planned like that where you're gonna do more than just like sitting at your desk?
I have some, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's kind of similar to like I saw you did the ukulele video and like the metaverse video, just stuff like that where it's more like experiencing something and like I like commenting on it at the same time. Like the ghost video is kind of like a commentary video disguised as like a story arc or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good mix. So I just have more ideas like that.
So what's your process now? I'm curious, just because we make the same sort of videos. Like, how much planning now are you putting into these sort of like higher concept videos? Because, and what does your staff look like? I guess is it just you and your editor?
So I have an editor, Jake, and a writer, Robert. So Jake pretty much edits everything now. For stuff that's like really like kind of different, like the ghost video, we kind of like sent the project file back and forth and like would each do a pass and stuff like that. But for stuff like the video I just posted, like the Trying Bad Games video, he just like edited that whole thing while I was in Europe, which was like insanely helpful.
Yeah.
And Robert, he helps. He pitches ideas for videos, which is super helpful because I feel like the thing like most creators I feel like complain about is just being out of ideas and like constantly scraping the bottom of the barrel. So just having like one other person that's also looking is like super helpful. And then he helps write ideas too. So we'll have like writing sessions where it's almost like it'd kind of be like filming a collab video, which is probably like what you and Noel would do for That's Cringe, where you just kind of like bounce ideas back and forth with each other. But instead of filming it like you would do with a collab, we just like write down all the funniest things.
Yeah.
And then I get to recite them and and be the funny one. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, so like I'm trying to think, like for the Stanley Hotel video, I mean, we had some kind of like, we had bullet points of like stuff we wanted to do. Like I wanted to do like an actual room review that wasn't ghost related, because I feel like hotels get a pass if they're haunted, you know? Yeah. So I had like that. I had like little bits and jokes like that throughout. But other than that, I mean, like, I feel like if you try to script stuff, too many bits like that, the video almost comes off as scripted and not like you're genuinely trying to experience something.
Right.
So I feel like for stuff like that, it's like I have bullet points for what I want to do. Like I want to do the ghost hunting, I want to do a tour, whatever. But like within that, trying to like script too many lines and jokes and stuff just will come off as inauthentic or almost like a parody. Like I didn't want to do just a parody of a Shane Dawson video.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like loose bullet points, but trying not to like plan too much.
Yeah. It feels like there's this kind of cool like sweet spot now in terms of YouTube content that kind of is commentary, but also like people, or it's also like you going out and doing something, but not spending millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I think
for
we
sure.
went through this, like, you know, the quote unquote Mr. Beastification of YouTube, where, you know, people were just like, oh, I gotta throw a lot of money at this and have these crazy concepts where people just blow them away every single time.
Right.
But I think like people like you and Ryan Trahan are kind of proving this. Like somebody doesn't need to be that crazy and that higher concept. Like going to a haunted, you know, hotel and just showing what it's like, honestly, is a great concept that doesn't, it's not like, you know, you're not giving somebody 3 Lamborghinis or something like that. You know, it's something like totally normal that other people could do. It's just you make it really funny and entertaining, and I think that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Ryan's videos are crazy too. I watch every single one. I think like his ability to take like pretty simple ideas and make them like really interesting, and also like taking ideas that seem simple, finding ideas that seem simple but also like blow up is like a really hard skill. Like like a video that's just like I survived in the woods. It's like I feel like a lot of creators will like have super analytical brains and they're like, that can't possibly just be the idea. There has to be something like, I survived in the wild, but blah blah. Like, how do I put my own like ironic twist onto it?
Yeah.
I think Ryan's shown that like you literally just need like a pretty simple idea, and as long as you like do it in an interesting way, people will watch it.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's also the other side where it's people like Eric, which I also really like his videos, but his concept sometimes is like, oh my god, how did they even pull this off?
Yeah, that kind
of some of them are like, oh my, so many moving pieces and
it stresses me out to think about. For sure.
Same.
Yeah,
because I could never. I mean, I don't know, maybe one day, but like to get to the point where you have that many people involved and everyone's focused on the same mission and goal is like so taunting and intimidating.
Even just thinking about how many cameras they have on those shoots. Like
exactly,
they have like one camera per person and like a 50-person challenge. I'm like, how the fuck did you edit this in like less than a year? Yeah.
And it's so impressive. It really is. But for me, it's like, it just seems so much more digestible thinking about like, oh, that idea, for example, what Ryan did where he went out and built a shelter. I was like, oh, I could have fucking done that. You know? Like, that's inspiring to me. I like watching that stuff because I'm like, whenever I watch something, I'm like, oh, what can I make that's similar to this? Or, you know, how can I put my own spin on this? And what's a derivative of this that I could potentially do? That's what I'm always thinking. So seeing that was cool. Or like your video was like, oh my God, like, this is great. It's a great mixture of what I used to do, which is just sit at a desk and give commentary, and also like actually going out and doing something.
Yeah. So like, do you have like plans for your main channel to like experiment with other types of content, or is that more what you want to do with your training channel?
No, that's like what I want to do for the main channel is kind of just do more involved things. Nothing crazy, but I have a couple really fun ideas that we're trying to make happen right now. it's just figuring out like who's gonna help you do it. And I don't know. It's funny with TMG Studios. Like we have this whole company now. We have like 12 full-time employees.
That's crazy.
Payroll.
That's so cool.
And like incredible, like a credible team of producers and everyone that works there is fantastic. But it's like a structured company now, and like we have a 1-day production time now that like that whole system is super ironed out and nice. And so, but like for me personally, it's like I get intimidated thinking about trying to do that just for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's just me. It's just my YouTube videos. Like how many, It just feels weird.
I feel like it does feel kind of narcissistic too sometimes to be like, I'm hiring all these people with all these like talented people.
Yeah.
And like, but I'm still the star of the show. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't
exactly.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going for. You put it a lot more eloquently than I did. But yeah, it does feel a little bit like all these people are working towards one goal of making me look cool.
Like so cool and funny and like smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
feels
know.
like kind of. But whereas TMG Studios now is like it's got its own mission. It's like a company. It's like a media company. Right. It's not just us. It's like there's other shows and there's other talent now and stuff like that. So it just feels more natural. But it's tough. Yeah, it's tough just to be one creator and kind of. It does feel like I feel like you have to have a certain amount of like self-interest in order to, which is not a bad thing. It's just I got to get over that,
Yeah, I feel like it feels more it feels more narcissistic than it should, or at least than it does for like TV. It's like, John Oliver probably I don't think feels like a narcissist because he has a bunch of writers for a show that's just him talking, that's just like we just accept that that's how TV works. I guess it's because YouTubers are seen as more like their authentic selves. So you expect it's like just them and a camera,
Yeah, right. Although I imagine if I was on primetime TV, I would still feel weird about like having a room full of writers pitch me jokes. And for me to be like, I'm the one that's on screen, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Not funny?
Yeah.
You trying to make me look not funny up there? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's really cool that you're thinking about like expanding your content. I feel like that's like super important as a creator for like longevity of your channel. Honestly, like I'm kind of surprised that like through doing the same thing over and over that I've like maintained a career by like I feel like, a lot of my videos are pretty similar. It's just like me talking about a movie or whatever. And I kind of feel like eventually people are going to get tired of that. So I just need to like be proactive about it. But
you've even gone through evolution where it's like you started by talking about, 5 years ago we were talking about you meeting up with, what's the fucking guy's name?
Oh God. Yeah. Troy Becker or whatever.
Troy Becker.
Troy Becker.
And like, so you think, and for me too, it was like I was doing a lot of videos about like Jake Paul and Lele Pons, and then eventually I was like, oh man, these are like kind of mean and they suck.
Yeah.
So it's like I started doing videos where, instead I'm like doing commentary on something else like The Button or, like a primetime, I don't know, like a Netflix dating show or something like that. And I feel like you're same way. Like you've kind of evolved the same way where you're doing, you're naturally doing videos about other things that interest you and finding your own lane,
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that about like targeting your whole audience towards one creator definitely like starts to feel a little mean after you have like 3 million subscribers and they have like 10,000 followers on TikTok or something.
Dude, I look back on some of those videos and I'm like, what the fuck? Who did I think I was? Like, I just did a video that was just called Lele Pons is bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
not even her content. It's just like
her. She's bad.
It's bad. Get rid of her. What are you doing?
Like, damn, that's like mean. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I know. I don't ever think that we were at, like, that title does sound kind of mean, but I don't think that, like, any of our videos were ever, like, actually mean. I think that, like, most people, if a video like that was made about them, would be able to laugh it off and be like, oh, that's funny. Like, yeah, I guess my videos are kind of like, I do use dumb sound effects and fall all the time in my videos or whatever Lele Pons did. Like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that she did take it in stride. I think that, maybe she didn't like those videos, but I feel like most people were probably like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would get DMs being like, that was a funny video you made about me, dude. Even
Yeah, no.
Andrew Tate DM'd me and was like, funny video you made about me.
Really?
Yeah. He DM'd me on Instagram. I never opened it, and now it just says like deleted user because it's still like in my message request or whatever. It says like deleted user sent you great video or whatever. Now I never get to respond because he's banned off Instagram.
So did you wait to open it until his account was deleted?
Well, I read it. I think I never like accepted it or whatever. You have to accept it. Yeah. So it just
that
says
was
like
a long time ago that you made that video, right?
Yeah, I think it was at the beginning of the year or maybe like March.
Oh, okay. But he hadn't like fully blown up yet.
Yeah, I found it because his like the trailer for his like War Room Club was on the cringe subreddit, and so I found it on there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and then he kind of became like a bigger thing after that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played a part in that. I kind of feel bad about making that video if I somehow brought him to the forefront.
You might have been the reason, man.
I might have sort of made Andrew Tate in a way.
It might have been you.
Which is definitely a valuable lesson to not do that again.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So.
Did you ever feel that way about making videos about people too, where you're like, I think I might have given this person too much attention?
Dude, I made Lele Pons a star.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm kidding.
Forgot about that.
kidding.
She actually didn't have any followers when you started making a video
Yeah,
about
exactly.
it. That's
Yeah, I
actually
just
what
picked-
made it so mean.
I picked a random person. Oh, this person is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I feel like always you talk about someone and you're signal boosting them in a way.
Right. Yeah, I guess
sure.
it
So
depends.
I did feel like every time I talked, oh Jesus Christ.
I feel like the Zoom delay is just enough so that like
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
go ahead.
you go. You go.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say anymore. I don't
So
know.
embarrassing.
What am I supposed to say? My dog died.
I was like, it'll be fine. Virtual episode, that'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
It's even worse in person, dude. I interrupt people constantly. You should be glad I'm not there.
I have a real life Zoom delay in my brain.
Yeah. You're just like, you ask me a question, I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Right as you're about to talk. Yeah, I wait until you're gonna talk and then I respond.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, dude. Well, you know what? That being said, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I
Thanks
hope
for
this wasn't
having me.
boring. I mean, I really wanted to talk about running, but then I'm like, if you're not interested in running, that 30 minutes is probably going to be pretty dry. So, but if
Hey,
you
it was
are
interesting
in running,
to me, man.
you're going to love it. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you do this shit. It's kind of a hobby, but no one really talks about what it feels like to train and to do this sort of thing. So, I mean, I know you did.
Yeah.
I think you did a second channel video where you talked about the half marathon, right?
Yeah, I did a little bit. But I've kind of wanted to talk about it more in depth too, because I feel like it is like, it's probably, actually, it might not be as interesting as people think, but like, I feel like, kind of like now that I've done it, I want to tell other people like, hey, this is like fun. If you're, it's a fun hobby and you can do it. And like,
Yeah.
it's an inspirational thing. I kind of feel like it's like when people take acid for the first time and they're like trying to describe the experience to you, but it doesn't make any sense because they were on acid. And so you're like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And they're like, dude, you just got to do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's how I feel. You just got to do it. You just have to do
Exactly.
acid.
Do acid and then run a marathon is what we're saying here. Do them
Yeah.
both at the same time.
That's what I did, man. I don't even know if I finished, honestly. I took
you
acid at
were-
the starting line and woke up at the starting line. So you tell me
Yeah.
what happened.
All right, dude. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Good catching up. And
Hell yeah, brother.
take care. See you soon.
See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.